Welcome to my channel. I'm Sue Johnston, married to Stanley. What happens when an 80-year-old and almost 70-year-old decide to go kayaking for the first time? You're about to find out. Good morning, Stanley. I was going to give you another name today.
Hey, this is kayak day.
Yeah, kayak day.
So the day warms up a little bit. We get cracking. Enjoy it.
In the meantime, breakfast.
Feel the fresh air coming in there.
Yeah.
Why? Go ahead.
Echo, what temperature is it outside?
Right now, it's 6 degrees Celsius.
Got it, one.
It's got at one point.
Expect a high of 21 degrees.
Woohoo! 21. I must admit, I'm a little nervous about tomorrow, but most of the things that we're afraid of don't happen, so I'm not going to drown. The kayak's not going to tip. And I'm really surprised, actually, because Stanley is really enthusiastic. He's the one that said, let's go kayaking on Saturday. And it'll be our very first time. So I will take pictures, and you'll hear about it later. I am going to put together my kayak, and I'm going to do it by myself because that's what I like. I know some people said, where's Stanley? Why isn't he helping you? Yeah, because I like to do stuff. I enjoy puzzles, let's say. I like putting things together. I like reading instructions and doing the whole thing. Having said that, every once in a while, you're going to run into a situation where you need help. And so Stanley's going to be right there. And it'll be interesting to see if he makes any comments as I go along, because I suspect he will. But I'm going to start this by myself, and we'll see what happens. Alexa, turn on the lights. Very good. How's this going to go? This way too back. I purchased the Explorer K2 Kayak. I purchased it because it's very compact. So it means I'm going to have to, I keep saying blow it up, but inflate it. It comes with 2 paddles, 2 seats, the pump to pump it up with. Stanley was letting me do this by myself initially, but I knew eventually he would not be able to resist. Much longer than I thought. So look at this. This is the repair kit package. Yeah, I know, that doesn't look promising, does it? When I opened the package, the canvas bag, and started pulling out the items, I found a bag that was supposed to include a repair kit, but it had been opened and the repair kit removed. So that left me feeling a little uneasy. What happened there? Did somebody put their hands into the box and steal the repair kit? Are they that short supply or important or needed? I don't know. But anyway, as it turned out, the whole rest of the items were fine. There's no leaks anywhere. And we put the kayak together. Well, it doesn't take much to pump it up.
Oh, are you going to pump it up?
Pardon?
Are you going to pump it up?
Yeah, I'm going to do the other part, yeah.
All right, let's go.
But I'm impressed with how quickly it takes to do the 2 sides.
Right, but you want to go through the whole thing once, and then you can deflate it and roll it up. Because when you get out there to put it together, you want to know exactly what you're doing.
Yeah.
While you're on a grassy bank.
And then put her in.
And then you jump. Is there something that inflates the floor as well? Does
Yes.
it right?
Yep. So here we are.
It's a practice run.
This exactly.
Practice run.
The kayak is wide enough for comfort and safety. It's made with really tough material and has a rigid structure. Apparently, problems such as leaks and punctures are uncommon. We did take it out, and I will show you that later in the video. But what I found is there was a series of steps to set it up. You inflate the floor, which I didn't do because I didn't read the manual, the instructions. So anyways, everything is numbered. There's a number 1 on the floor, so you inflate that. Then you do each side. Then you do this nose piece, and then there's a similar piece on the end. And that's about it. It's, oh, and then the seats, you have to inflate the seats as well. And they attach in with Velcro. My overall impression of the kayak, well, it's definitely comfortable. I was comfortable the whole time. It's larger than I imagined, easy to set up. I love the portability, and it's easy to store.
Up, down, up, down, up, down.
And hit the fridge.
So,
You want to come sit in with me? I'll take a picture when we get in.
We fall in.
Now, if you want, you can tighten up your seat, right?
Yeah, I feel it's pretty good to me.
Oh, do that again. Press on the seat. I guess water wouldn't come in if you did that. Might want to avoid doing that.
I'll tell you this much, you don't go out in these in a rough day.
Oh, definitely not.
This is for calm water.
That's
Oh.
that's
Oh,
why
what,
we saw
what about
everybody.
the fin? How does the fin go on? Let's look at that.
It
That's
goes
really-
on the bottom. Don't go
course.
out yet.
What?
Don't go out yet. So you got lots of leg room, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
My toes almost disappear. You know, what I never liked about kayaks years ago, the old ones, they're too tippy.
How's that?
Because they have a flat bottom.
No, I mean this one.
I don't know, I'll have to be in the water to find out.
But try to tip it now.
But that's on dry ground.
Okay.
You have to be careful getting in and out of it. You
Yeah.
step into the middle,
Yeah.
not one edge. Because if you're getting in by yourself, it'll tip.
There was that couple we saw. They were about our age.
No, they weren't. Japanese, Chinese.
Yes.
But he's a lot younger than me.
He put her in the boat, handed her coffee, and then he pushed it off
And he got in.
the slip there. He walked out to his sort of ankle
Knees, yeah.
or calf deep. And then he turned around and he slipped his bottom into the boat with his legs hanging over the side.
That's why
He shook his feet off, put his dry shoes on, and got in. And then he paddled. He paddled, not her.
Well,
She didn't do any paddling.
it's a personal thing. Good.
So there you are. That's my banana boat. Look, he's even smiling. He's got a nose.
Hey, this is kayak day.
Yeah. And here we are at Island Lake Conservation Park. And there's some big run on, like people running a race, and they're not letting anybody drive their cars in. So I walked in so we can get a spot. Spots available. Launch our kayak. Oh, finally they let a car through. Well, I'm standing in my spot to claim it.
These papers you're looking for? Better morning.
Now, the kayak is wide enough for comfort and safety.
No.
It's made with a tough material, as I mentioned before, so I didn't need to worry about leaks, which was one of my strange concerns. We may need to watch a video on best paddling practices. It took a bit to get our paddles in sync. We tried vocalizing our paddle strokes. 1, 2, paddle. 1, 2, paddle. We wanted an even pace with our paddling. a relaxing one. So most of our times, or most of the time, our paddle strokes were surfacey, but occasionally we had to sort of dig deep into the water to get away from a very weedy area, seaweeds, and to avoid a fisherman who was on the shore throwing out his fishing line. I would have liked to have got footage of us putting it into the water, maybe the two of us sitting inside of it, but we would need a third person to do that. And unfortunately, some of the recording quit on me because my phone ran out of memory space. No more storage space, that's what it was. I can tell you that the whole experience was a joyous one. Very comfortable, relaxed, very peaceful ride. We enjoyed the exploration of the island lake. And there was this little island that we went over to, and I'll show you this in a minute, where their geese always hang out. And I'd always wanted to go over there and have a look at the geese, and I got the opportunity to do that. My apprehension about the water, I tend to be a little bit nervous with water anyways, even though I'm a good swimmer. But I need to get used to it. But once we got used to rowing and being able to sink our paddle strokes, we got over to that island and we were able to view the birds, and I just loved that.
And they skim their blades, you see it, and turn them, and then they flatten them out to pull.
I'm videotaping, so I'm not doing any paddling right now. Unless you could turn us around a little bit, face into them. September and October are the 2 months when the birds, the geese, begin to gather together. They practice their flying and get ready to go south. Some of them stay in Canada, but most go to the US. Lucky birds.
They have to come around the boat, get around them, and then pound it past. Set 2, legs body open. 1, you gotta move past now.
Just tell YouTube we give up. Our heads are too big for the camera, so we give up.
Okay, we're on. We're actually on. So what are we here for? Talk about the kayak. What was it like? So tell us what it was like.
Well, a kayak is, and I haven't been in one for probably 60 years. But a kayak is like a small, thin canoe, and it's covered in except for the spot where the person slips into it with a paddle and begins to go. But if you can picture a canoe, only smaller, with a covered in top, then you've got the idea. We were checking out a new one made with, I think, some type of strong vinyl, and it was a 2-passenger kayak, completely open, and you pump it up to a good firm pressure and
Inflate it,
inflate it, and away you go. The issue I found was it performed quite well, but the seats in it, for me, my seat would, because whatever pressure I was putting on it, paddling, it would slide backwards until I was crowding Susie and making her uncomfortable.
It was in my lap.
And then we even switched around that I would be in the front, Susie would be in the back, and yet I was the one who had the trouble. So when we were finished our jaunt around Island Lake, it was a kind of fun, except for the issue with that seat, which made me, I was almost lying down trying to paddle. It was weird. So anyway, we figured out a way to correct it. And
By moving the seats.
by moving the seat and blocking it in a certain way.
They're
so that-
attached with the Velcro, so you can move them and then
Yeah.
they'll
So the
stay.
next time we go out, before we go out, we'll definitely cross all our T's, dot all our I's, and double check that everything's solid and good, so that each person can paddle and feel comfortable. But the experience itself, the unit that we used, neither one of us had used it before, and
Well, I've never, ever been
Except-
kayaking.
yeah, except for the seat issue, it was really quite good. Yeah, we enjoyed it.
No, for me, no matter whether it was in the front or in the back, I was always comfortable. So I was able to just sort of sit down and sit upright. I knew just by looking at the structure of the seat that back portion was not going to offer much support. So I just kind of sat upright and it kind of worked for me. But
Which proves to me that Susie's actually smarter than I am in many ways. She figures things out. And
well, that's
excuse
a
me.
compliment.
Although she would get a bit frustrated out on the water, yet when we got back, she had a solution to the issue.
Which I hope works.
And I like that, because if you gave up every time you ran into a difficulty in life, well, you'd just be Mr. and Mrs. Give Up. So, but it doesn't work. You knuckle down, you figure it out, you do your, like they used to say in the old country, you do your sums, you do your math, you figure it out, and you see, do something that's going to work, because it is workable. And then we'll be like king and queen sitting on thrones,
Out on the water.
going around Island Lake, and we'll be admired by all.
And what do you think about the weather? Because initially it said the temperature was like 5 degrees and we knew it was going to warm up. But me personally, I felt like we were getting dressed up for winter again.
Yeah, it was cool. And for our American viewers, the numbers we use for temperature are Celsius.
Yeah.
So, and early this morning it was 5 degrees outside, which is pretty cool. But by the time we actually got out there and got going, it actually went up to 21, which is about 70 in Fahrenheit.
And that was kind of a surprise.
Yeah, and
weather-wise.
Also, the wind was light. The wind was 5 miles an hour, because with a kayak, if it's really windy, it's just not a good idea to go out on the lake. But the wind was calm for the most part, and we had a little bit of fun.
So we went out about 10. I think the next time we should probably go out about 7:38, because when we first arrived, you could see that the water was like a mirror. But then as we got out on it, the wind began to pick up a little bit. Like we're talking like just a little ripple. But initially I could see the feet. I could see the fish in the water. And then later when the wind picked up a bit, there was enough ripple on the water that you actually couldn't see the fish.
So if you're going to go kayaking sometime, make sure you get a good unit, read up on it. And if you want a single unit, it'll probably be easier for you to navigate. But if you're going to bring somebody, obviously you have to have a dual one. But if you're going to, you have to have a bit of a joy for the water. And if that's what you're going to do, like I said, do your homework, spend a few bucks, and then check it out thoroughly before you actually launch it into the water. Do a little test run, because that's what we ran up against this morning. If we had done a test run, we would have known. But anyway, it ended up being a test run.
Yeah, this was our test run.
So hopefully now the next time we'll have that seat secure, so that I'm not slithering backwards, because it's very, very annoying to have a paddle whistle over your head whenever you... And one just clipped me. Anyway.
I wonder whose paddle that was.
Okay. All the best. See ya.
Would you recommend it?
Pardon?
Would you recommend that Explorer K2? It's been fairly popular, but
it depends on the person. You have to, first of all, you have to like the water. You have to enjoy boats. Mm. And have to be certainly a bit of a nautical person. If you don't like water, then then, and you don't even swim, well then hang up your bathing suit and give up. But if you like the water, it's, and get used to it, because people, like many things in life, you have to give it a go, and then more, and practice and do it until, you just, it's second nature. And I think with Susie and I, that kayak, if we get a chance to use it enough, which this year probably not enough,
Yeah.
but it'll, we'll get used to it. I could enjoy that unit. It's fairly large, I guess about 10 feet long, and it's filled, you fill it with air, you have a pump, fill it up in different sections. They don't just make the whole thing with one chamber, because if it only had one chamber, if the air had a leak, then you're going to the bottom fairly quickly. But it has the different sections that you inflate separately, so that if one begins to go, you probably have time to get into shore. Already? Okay, Susie.
All right. And that's it for now.
See you later. Yep.
Thanks for watching and listening. And thank you to all my new subscribers. I really do appreciate you touching that button. Maybe you've hit the bell for notifications. And for the people who have left comments, I have enjoyed so much reading them. So continue to do that. Apparently, this is a community, and I'm beginning to feel like that. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned.
Getting close, aren't we?
Yeah, I missed it.